Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to Discover Genius Insights. This is our weekly call that introduces people who are really wanting to know about the genius for the first time. I want to welcome all people who currently have the genius and want to let you know that there is support every Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. I'm going to be giving you the link to that so that you can join us for a weekly Q&A. That's for current users. Now, you all are totally welcome here, and we're going to be doing some fun stuff. But this is really for people who have never seen the genius before and are interested in getting the genius. We always have this call every Tuesday for a couple of reasons. The first one is, say that you introduce somebody to the genius and you want them to know more about it. You'll be able to send them this link, and I'll describe this more in an upcoming email I hope to get out this evening. Send them a link and say, hey, you know what? Ariel has this weekly sales call, and you can jump on it. You can have a demonstration scan. Anybody here can volunteer today. We can do a scan, and we can tell you what's going on with you energetically. So they'll be able to see this live in real time every Tuesday at this time. We also have a special. There'll always be something that's offered as a little incentive for them to, go ahead and go for it and get the genius. We'll talk more about what it does, what it doesn't do, what bioresonance is, what these portable biofeedback apps are all about. So that's every Tuesday, and that's for your people who you know in the community, who you think this is so cool and you want to introduce them, but they don't have something to live to be tapped into. And so this is an opportunity for them to see the genius in action. So again, I welcome all users. Congratulations on getting the genius, and certainly you can join us every Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific time. Now, some of you are joining us here from the UK, and I do want to mention that we're working to get those time zones covered as well, and I'll have more information for you soon. We do have a very nice referral program, so you can send people to this call who are your referrals. And certainly, again, we'll be telling you more about the referral program, but there'll be a wonderful commission to thank you for referring people over here to the genius. So I do want to ask if there's anybody here who would like to volunteer. If you'd like to have a demonstration scan, then send me your name and date of birth and let me know if it's okay if we show that information. I tell people I can turn the camera off so they don't see your date of birth and so forth. So just let me know if you want me to do that, and then we go right into a scan. If not, I'll do something else as a demonstration scan. I also want to welcome the developer of the Quantum Genius, of the Genius Insights. And that is Ryan Williams. And he really is an incredible innovator of these apps, of these biofeedback apps, and has created some wonderful new innovations in frequency. We're going to talk about that, what it means, what you can do with it. And he's joining us today, so I want to introduce him and see if he has some information that he wants to share specifically about the program. Let me see if I can get him on here. Hey, Ryan, are you there? Whenever you're ready, if you it just unmuted you, so you should be able to join in.
There we go, Ariel. Thank you so much. I was getting a bit concerned. I figured I'd just be talking to myself, but I mean, that wouldn't be such a, it wouldn't be the first time, anyways. But yeah. So thank you so much for the introduction. And for those of you that are new to this, certainly thank you very much for joining us. Those of you that have experienced some of the other apps that I've been fortunate enough to be involved with, it's been a great journey. I think I developed the first app probably about 5 years ago now, which was, back in those days, we actually called it the Quantum iLife, just to give you a little background just in terms of, some of the products that we've been around. And one of the biggest fundamental changes we made was the first app that we came out was like a single tone generator. What that meant is, let's say you were going to generate a 528 hertz. You would literally hear beep, beep, which was, I guess 5 years ago it was sort of really cool. And then about 2 or 3 years ago, I figured out a way where we could take that 528 hertz and we could create like sort of 6 different amplitudes, which means that the 528 hertz would stay the same, but we'd have, 6 different amplitudes, which was actually called a soliton wave, which actually made the the impact of the frequencies, much more, they had a much better impact. Anyway, so that was then, and now what we've done now with the frequencies, we've taken it to a whole new paradigm. We've got this cool enhanced layering process and all these other weird and wonderful things. You don't need to know how they work. All you do need to know is that they're really cool, they're really awesome from a practitioner's perspective, from a client's perspective. The results that you're going to anticipate, the frequencies are going to be a lot more impactful, and typically what we are finding is the rectifications are actually improving as well. They certainly sound a lot better, which is sort of music to my ears. But yeah, I mean, those of you that are on the call, great, and Ariel, thank you. Hello? Oh.
Ryan, are you still there?
Yeah, I am. I guess was I talking to myself, or could everyone hear me?
No, everybody can hear you. No, you.
Oh, cool.
Fine.
Okay.
I just, I muted myself and I didn't get right back on, so you didn't hear me. But I just wanted you to have the stage. But I thought, do you want to just talk about can I bring up a couple of the features and just talk with you about them, particularly about the sound?
Surely.
All right, let me just jump into a session here. Sort of pick one. I'm going to actually skip the voice and picture for a minute. And let me just do a begin analysis. So can you talk a bit about the alternating energies? And I'm just going to jump right. I'll show how to do this later, but this alternating waveform. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's actually go back to the previous page. I just want to try and give a sort of conceptual design idea. So, this is the first page, and basically what we've done here is that we've expanded our database, probably tenfold. We've got, I think, about 32 to 35 different, full panels. I mean, it's just a very large program. But what we try to do is to sort of take the analysis and sort of take it back like, one or two steps. So that first page that you're looking at, where you've got your mind, your body, and your spirit, when we are actually running the results on that specific page, what it's doing is actually taking in all the frequencies and all the energetic signatures from all of those sub-pages and those sub-pages, and we are factoring in that whole analysis component to try to give you a sort of quick snapshot on that mind and that body and that sort of biofield. Now, in all fairness, as much as what it is giving you a quick little snapshot, it really is my advice, and I'm sure Ariel will show you this, but to actually go into each and every one of those mind, body, and biofield subpanels and just get a quick overview about that. So that's, the moral of the story is that when you're looking at that mind, body, and the biofield, that's not three little, simple results that you're looking at. That mind is the result of the panels and all the frequencies and all the different items that we have, that's, interrelated to the mind and then respective to the body and the biofield. Okay, so back to the other page.
So back to the system. Should we go to the system overview, or
no? You want to go to the navigation and then go to the accessories.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, so I love that. Just on that note, many of you actually email me and you ask me where the navigation button is. So the navigation button is there in the top right-hand corner. It's like three little lines that are going, I think, horizontal. Yeah, three little lines going horizontal. If you click on that, that's known as the navigation, and we're going to continue to add more and more items there. But if you want to go to that,
so the navigation, absolutely, the navigation being at the upper right here, and then this is where you access all of your menus. Where you go to look at the frequency is going to be frequency, shape, and form. I'm going to tap on that now, and this is just amazingly exciting. I'm going to switch it back to the default because I was playing with some things yesterday. But again, tell us a bit about this. We've got the sine, square, sawtooth, and then tell us a bit about the alternating effect.
Perfect. Okay. So again, not to get into too much detail, but as far as I'm concerned, for those of you that want to get up and running in a short period of time, you want to get the app, you want to download it, and you want to begin to use it. Get to this page, get to the frequency, shape, and form page. Go down to the alternating and select the alternating option. What that means is that when we are, providing the signal stimulation, depending on which signals you actually choose, in other words, if it comes up with a specific meridian or acupuncture point, or a certain, allergy or risk profile, whatever it may be, depending on those specific frequencies that you have selected, it begins to alternate between a sine and a wave. I mean, between a sine wave, a square tooth, a square wave, and then a sawtooth wave. So those are, basically just different wave forms. They're different wave shapes. In other words, let's say we have one frequency of 528, hertz. Typically, the predominant frequency would be either a square wave or a sine wave. It's still 528 hertz. It's just the wave shape is different. However, by selecting the alternating, it really takes the analysis component or the frequency delivery, sort of one step deeper, that now, depending on the specific frequencies we select, it then will begin to alternate between that sine, the square, and then the sawtooth. I think equally as well, I may have mentioned this before, but to me, the body is in a constant, the body is dynamic. It's always changing. And subjecting the body to different wave shapes and forms, I think is really beneficial to the body because it keeps the body stimulated. It keeps it receptive. If I had to keep speaking to you in one, sort of monotone, or two, you would have switched off. But if I'm chopping and changing my voice and I'm speaking high or low, and hopefully you can hear me between my lists, but typically the more engaging you are with your voice, the more you can gain somebody's attention. And I think that same principle applies on an energetic level when you're actually balancing the body with these energetic signatures as well.
Ryan, can you say anything specifically about the difference between, and we don't have to go into it if you don't want to, but is there anything that you can say about square versus sine versus sawtooth?
Sawtooth is a bit of a, it's like the sort of dark horse out there. Typically, most sort of biological signals, most sort of devices in this industry, they use a sort of square wave frequency, except, when you get to the sort of edges on the actual square, it's sort of slightly rounded. So typically the majority of these bioenergetic devices, they use the square wave frequency. And then, sometimes they sort of alternate between an actual sine wave. But, the dominant frequency state is typically your square wave. But I don't think we need to get into
well, no, I actually think people are fascinated by that, but I just want to linger on it just for a moment longer. Aren't the Rife frequencies, most of those generators, don't they generate a square wave, or are they optimized at a square wave?
Yeah, typically they use a square wave, but like I said, it's actually called a dirty square wave. So instead of it being a sort of directly perpendicular, like where the two lines meet, on that little corner, there's a sort of slight sort of curvature. That's known as a dirty square wave. And, typically from years and years of research, they found that, applying those type of square waves, the body, is a lot more receptive. And, let me just sort of put this out as a disclaimer as well. To me, one of the great things about this technology is, as much as what I'm blessed to be a part of it. A lot of this information is stuff that we've, I've been involved in this industry, probably for about 16, 17 years. But equally, there's been a lot of great research out there. Like you mentioned, Dr. Royal Rife, Hilda Clark, whatever it may be. So it's great to have access to that information where we can find a way where we can take that information to the next level. And, in many ways, you do have some Rife frequencies in here, and we've been able to apply those tried and tested techniques and incorporate it into new modern day technology.
That's extraordinary. And so it then goes through the alternating as it's as you're playing the frequencies, it's going to go sine, square, sawtooth in some sort of order.
Not so much in an order. Well, I guess yes, in an order, but it depends on the actual items and the actual frequencies that you select. So in other words, based on your selection choice, it might feel that sine, 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 square, sine, sawtooth, or sawtooth, sine, sine, square kind of thing. We have an actual algorithm that we've programmed in there based on the specific frequencies that we select.
And can the upshot of this, can we, certainly I noticed that it takes much a much shorter time to do a balancing with the Genius. And is this sort of the reason why we might find that it goes much more quickly because of this alternating, the effect of the alternating frequencies?
I think, that would certainly play a role, yes. I would say yes. I think, that enhanced energy layer. I, you know, I think the other thing as well is like with a lot of the matrices that we've had, we've been able to add, more, more frequencies, more, energetic signatures. I don't want to say it's just because of this, but certainly a large part of it can be contributed through this, and then that enhanced layering process as well.
Well, can you indulge us a little bit and tell us a little bit more about the energy encoded process? I think people are really curious about that.
Okay, so the energy encoded process, that is like the hololinguistics. Okay, wait, hang on. No, it's not. Okay, we're talking on the bottom one there,
This
correct?
first one we're talking about, we can talk. I certainly know people will be interested in this as
I
well, but
can't
we're
see it.
talking
Okay,
just about
energy.
the energy encoded process.
Oh,
This
okay,
one right here.
okay. You know what? I've just figured if I take my two thumbs and drag, I can actually see the screen, which is pretty cool. Okay, so the energy encoded process actually means probably two or three different things. The first thing is, in the past, when you actually create your customized libraries, and when you actually share those libraries, part of the challenge that we had was ensuring that the frequencies that were generated initially were the same frequencies that the people would receive on the other end. Part of that we've been able to actually solve through this energy encoded process. Now, the energy encoded process is basically, it's hololinguistics on steroids. Hololinguistics quite simply means is that to every word, there's a certain sort of energetic power or an energetic symbol. A famous quote from the Bible is, at first there was the word, and then there was the power of God, or something along those lines. And a lot of um, there's been a lot of information or research which lends to sort of non-verbal communication. So what that means is that you don't necessarily need to actually speak to be able to communicate. And just on that note, just on a side note, I've been watching this TV show called Touch with Keith Sutherland, and he has this autistic child that is he's a genius, he's autistic, but he communicates through numbers.
Hmm.
And in communicating through numbers, he can see into the past, and he can find, patterns, and it ties into sacred geometry, etc., etc.
Wow.
And it's a phenomenal program. And those of you that, have Netflix, I would certainly suggest are watching it. It really epitomizes the kind of stuff that we are talking about. I know I keep promising to send everyone a document. It will be, I have it, it's ready. I just need to put a nice little label on it, and I will send it out tonight. But basically, the difference between that energy encoded process and the stacked soliton wave is that when you select the soliton wave, it is generating the specific frequency. So in other words, maybe we've got vitamin C, and it's got 15 to 20 different associated frequencies. That soliton wave, it's going to send those specific frequencies into the body.
Yep.
The energy encoded process it does not actually send those specific frequencies. It sends that word as a sort of non-verbal communication into the body, and then it looks
Wow.
at the body's response. So it's a fundamental it's like sort of night and day difference between your typical sort of bioresonance testing, because with all bioresonance devices, it has to do with with specific frequencies. So very much different. But those of you that are on this call, regardless, I will actually send it out tomorrow anyway. So,
Does the receiving of this is almost, instead of saying, sort of forcing, let's just force this vitamin C into your energy field, it's sort of like, what do you need of this wave? What will your body accept? Is that sort of the feeling?
you know, honestly, I'd sort of be inclined to say a sort of yes and no. I think it more has to do with a sort of non-verbal way of the body recognizing what it needs and
Mm,
essentially what it does. I
mhm.
mean, it's easy for me to sort of look at you and say, hey, you know what, Ariel, you need vitamin B, and let me give you that
For sure.
I,
Yeah.
I sort of that vitamin. But if there's some other way through non-verbal communication that we can get that message across,
Hmm.
it really hits the sort of higher planes
Yep.
as well.
I
And
totally agree.
that's what this sort of information does. And just on that note,
Hmm.
we actually will change that wording. It'll be called archetype encoding as well. I just need to get around to changing the label, but the archetype process is essentially hololinguistics on steroids.
It's really interesting. It'll be interesting to sort of find some new words to sort of describe that process, but it sounds like a more gentle process, and it sounds like one which is of a much higher intelligence.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm just sort of being, you know what, I'm just being biased because it feels really close to my heart. But I
Well, no,
think in
I
many
mean,
ways,
we're sort of
yes,
asking,
absolutely.
yeah, we're sort of asking the universe. I mean, I haven't really maybe stated it very well or sort of regurgitated very well, but I mean, it really sounds like we're sort of asking the universe to sort of give us the best form of vitamin C rather than saying, here, this is the form we've decided you need it in.
Very much, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll continue to drill down all of that, but that's completely fascinating. And how does this in the energy entrainment volume, not the volume, but the energy entrainment, how does the enhanced layering technology, what is it, and how does it sort of play with the energy encoded process, or does it at all?
Okay, it'll play with either one or the other, the energy encoded process or the actual stacked soliton wave. So you can see there you've got two different sliders. Typically what we advocate is, I mean, just to be real candid with you, that soliton wave is your typical frequencies that you hear. Now, they be receptive by the body, but from a sort of audio, from an audio level, they are really difficult to hear. So what you can do as an option is that you can take that top slider, you can bring it down to literally just below the audio level. So then you are still getting those, actual frequencies or those signatures going into the body. And then that enhanced layering process, that is almost like a sort of another player that's been superimposed on top of those frequencies. So now, instead of just playing your normal frequencies or even your archetype encoded frequencies, we now literally have like a whole nother player on top of that, generating more signatures or more frequencies, almost sort of superimposing themselves in a sort of hierarchical manner on top of those frequencies, which really helps as a sort of reinforcement. In terms of those specific items that we've selected, they, constitute mainly binaural beats, isochronic tones, and then we've got certain melodies, and then embedded within the melodies, we've got, further signatures and sort of further chants as well. So all of those are sort of playing in the background. I think I might have mentioned this last time. It's almost like if you've got, two different like radio players that you're listening to, or you've got, two different songs that you are listening to. If you can get those songs, into sort of harmony, you're getting the benefit of both of that, or you are able to listen to that music, both at the same time. And in the same way, this is actually what we have, is that we've got, one tone generator, and then we've got another tone generator on top of that, which is acting as a sort of hierarchy or the sort of support structure for that initial component. So it just allows us to have, more and more layers of frequencies or sort of signatures layered up, on top of themselves. And it really has made a huge difference, not only in terms of the pleasant sounds and that, but equally just in terms of the impact that people are actually feeling from now, experiencing the energetic signatures.
Can we say that it's a potentiator of the original frequencies that have been chosen?
No, it's not actually related it's not related to the initial frequencies that we've chosen at all. I think we've got a soundtrack of, I think we've
But
got
does
about
it have
15
that?
or.
But does it have that ultimate effect? Like, what is the effect of this really wonderful, rich layer on the original frequencies? Like, if I just show as an example that they're here, would you say that it almost, like, I think about the running the solfeggios at the same time as running other frequencies as a way to sort of push or help the process along. I mean, is
Yeah,
that,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. So it can act as a, sort of carrier wave.
ah,
It can drill down deeper into, into the body.
huh?
I like much deeper because it has a lot of sort of brainwave entrainment processes as well. It can, help to stimulate the brain as well. So, it certainly has a lot of those additional factors.
Wonderful. I mean, that's very, very exciting. And what is isochronic? What's an isochronic tone, if I'm even saying that correctly?
Yeah, it's a slight variation from the actual binaural beats. In terms of a specific sort of technical explanation, I'm actually not too certain. The best thing, my advice would be to Google it. But
Yeah, for
essentially, your
sure.
binaural beats, it's just a sort of, it's a variation from your binaural beats. And typically, your binaural beats, it sort of takes your brain, it sort of splits it in half. And if you've got, your left and your right channel of information, you've got audio going in one ear, audio going in the other ear. The brain has the ability to differentiate between those two different audios, and then it comes up with the net result. So if there's like a 15 hertz coming in on the left, and then a 6 hertz coming in on the coming in on the right, it leaves a difference of an actual 9 hertz, and that is what the brain is actually picking up. And in doing that, it actually helps to integrate both the left and the right hemispheres as well.
Fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. So when people are playing the tones and they use the entrainment aspect, um, should they always wear headphones for the best benefit of those tones?
My personal suggestion is that yes, if they can, I would certainly suggest doing that because now, I mean, we've got the great audio sounds, and then we've got the energetic signatures as well. So yeah, you know what? Even your little, your little iPhone earbuds that you've got, they have a left and a right channel. So I would sincerely recommend that you apply that together with the geo harness.
Okay, fantastic. So, Ryan, while we still have you here, can you say a few more things about sort of what you consider the highlights and what or I can just mention, I think, like the system overview being a huge, the general overview being a huge highlight. Or are there just things you want to point out? I want to just sort of give people, hit the highest notes for people about why this program is really so compelling.
Well, I think Ariel, certainly the system overview is great. I think, what we are doing and what we've done with the progressive insights is going to be remarkable. Obviously creating more panels, I think has been great. It gives us an ability, to get a much sort of deeper, a deeper understanding about the client's, current state of health. Part of the challenge, or part of the not so much challenge, but with the other devices that I've been involved with, we haven't had as many panels. Now, granted, you can go out and you can create more of your customized libraries. But to me, one of the things that I find really beneficial about us being able to program and sort of hard code other respective panels is that we can put in a lot more, data-rich information to make the analysis, sort of more of an impact. Certainly not to dismiss the libraries, but I just think, being able to have more of that sort of hard-coded information, because then, when we're running like further analyses and going into further panels, we're always working with more data, and that's the cool thing. Like when you add, more sort of libraries or whatever it is, we can't really integrate those libraries into the hard-coded data that we've got. So by expanding our matrices and our frequencies the way we have, it's actually really cool because it's just given us more data that we can work with, which typically means, you get more information. It's my opinion that the results are, um, pretty spectacular, and certainly the impact with the balancing as well. But yeah, I think the progressive insights, the entangled insights, what we've done with the quick zap tray. Gosh, yeah, take your pick. It's all good.
All right. Fantastic. Ryan, anything else that you want to mention for people? And then we're going to have a special offer. So there's a special incentive today. I think we'll just talk about it now. At the end of this call, we're going to have a special incentive for anybody who wants to get the Genius this evening. And Ryan, do you want to tell us a little bit about the incentive?
Surely. Well, first and foremost, please understand that, this is a product that we've been developing probably for the last sort of 6 or 7 months. The cool thing is it's a product I stand behind. It's a 30-day no.
Hey, Ryan, I have to mute you just for a second. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing Ryan's connection as sort of fading a little bit. You guys let me know if you also heard that. And I just want to sort of jump in there. And I think what Ryan really was saying is that he's been really, really working for the last 7 to 8 months on the Genius from the perspective of how can we make portable biofeedback apps better? What did we miss the first time around? How can we make this so that people can balance in 9 minutes and really get to the point of what they want to find out? So this is meant to be a very engaging, lively, colorful, exciting to use program. And it gives you the information that you need very, very quickly by testing the whole matrix, then by going from top to bottom. What Ryan was talking about with progressive insights was what we just did. We just actually went from what we have sometimes called in the past the multi-layer tray. It's now the main hold tray, or in the insights called the main hold tray, I should say more accurately. And basically when we go to play this, it takes us to a new screen. And the screen is called, this is, Ryan's brainchild, which is the Progressive Insights. And so we tap on Progressive Insights and it says, wow, of everything that you've picked out that you have found to be important by putting it in the main hold tray, what is actually the prioritization of those things? And then it tells you the prioritization. So you're getting more information, a deeper understanding, but also you're able to now run these frequencies. When these frequencies play, and I think the volume is down here. So when these frequencies play, they're playing in a very specific order where these top priorities are playing first. And anything that is down at the bottom in low priority is, not that they're first, but they're playing for a greater period of time. So you're getting much more of this and much less of this because it's not as much of a priority. So I love the higher intelligence of the Genius. It's really fun to use, and I've found it very, very effective and really efficient because as a biofeedback practitioner, you want to really maximize your time. So that's what we did there. We put everything in priority. I also want to point out it's just super easy to take frequencies out. So if you look at this and you think, wow, I just want to eliminate these. I don't even think that these are important. I don't want to look at these right now. And then you can go back into that progressive insights, and then of all of those, you can say what's a priority. So again, you're able to drill down information very, very effectively. So you can see all of these. It's interesting that since I just did that, it's interesting how many more things are in high priority. Let's just test Ryan's sound and see if we've got any sound back. Hey, Ryan, are you still there? See if we maybe get some better sound from Ryan, if we can get a better connection. Ryan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me now?
Much better, so much better. What are your thoughts, or what was your thinking behind the progressive insights?
Okay, so you know what? The progressive insights is actually like another terminology for it. I was actually thinking about this last night. It's like a sort of weighted therapy program. So what that means is that, first and foremost, is that when we are running the balancing, it's actually waiting. In other words, it's not actually waiting for a bus, but it's actually measuring or weighting the amount of time of therapy it should spend it should spend on each and every specific item. So throughout the entire program, and all the programs that I've been involved with for the last 15 years, is that you find a bunch of items, you select a timer for a minute or 10 minutes or 20 minutes, you push start, and then it cycles through all of those items, either all together or one at a time or whatever it may be. The problem with that is that it's not really weighting them. It's not scoring them and saying, well, you know what? The items that are highest need the highest attention, and the items that are lowest need the lowest attention. So typically, by default, the items that are lowest, we don't need to spend as much time giving that giving that item the balancing, versus the item on top. Just a brief overview about the actual progressive insights is that I think of the progressive insights as like the Sherlock Holmes box. The idea with Sherlock Holmes is that throughout the series of TV or whatever, or the book that you read, throughout the whole, each and every page, he's gathering all these clues, and then right at the end, him and sort of Watson, they have this, they put it all together, and that's really what that Sherlock Holmes box is. Throughout the program, throughout the session, you're dragging items that look important or that give you a high sense of probability or yield a high amount of significance to your client's symptomology. And then once you've got all those items in there, you look at them, and then you can either remove some of them if they don't make sense, but then all the items that do make sense, okay, great. Now I want to see how these are weighted against one another. In other words, is this one just as important as this? I don't know, but let's find out. Then we run the deeper analysis, and then we can see the weighting, how this one not so much how it interacts, but how this one is weighted against that one. So to me, it really gives us the ability to drill down so much deeper and so much more deeper, and then, finally, in my opinion, like what Ariel was saying, is that in that 9 to 15 minutes, you can come up with a pretty good idea about what's going on with your client.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So it isn't a prioritization, but it does play longer at the things that are at the top, like the urinary bladder 43. You'll actually get more attention for a longer period of time? I'm not quite sure I got that one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so basically, you'll see there you've got the high items, and then the medium, and then the low. So just think of everything as time. So whether we set our time as 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 5 minutes, just think of time as t=1 as an example. So all the items that are high, we are going to spend t+3. In other words, we will spend 3 times as much time balancing those items. And then the items that are medium, we'll spend 2 times as much time. And then the items that are low, we will spend, the normal time =1 on those items.
Mm-hmm.
So now for the first time, is like we've got this weighted program going on. The items that are high, they're saying, me, this, me, I deserve attention, I deserve attention. So now what we're saying to them is, hey, you know what, we're going to give you attention, but we're going to give you 3 times as much attention as the guys that are on low. And then the guys that are on medium, hey, you know what, we like you, we're going to give you twice as much attention. And then the guys that are on low will say, you know what, we like you, we'll give you a bit of attention, just so you feel good.
That's great. Ryan, let's take some time to just talk about the entangled insights and the really wonderful features. Let's just try the stomach meridian here. And this is a right to left swipe, right?
Yeah. No, left to right, sorry.
That helps. So I really love that you've put the all in here. And I just want to ask you, so when we tap at the top, we can analyze the whole database, which is another sort of new feature that's really fantastic. I really wanted to ask you about the percentage. We only go obviously, and this probably seems like a very obvious question, the higher percentage, the higher the relationship. Is that right? Ryan, did we lose you there? Okay, so let me just do a sound check. Can you guys hear me? Okay, there we go. I think Ryan's coming back in there. It's almost like he's got storms going on there or something. Ryan, are you back with us?
I am, yes.
Okay, yeah. Tell us, like here we tested that meridian and we only got 21%. So can we draw the conclusion that simply there's nothing in the database that is really showing a high correlation to let us know sort of what the causative factors of that meridian being out of balance are?
Yes, absolutely. So as much as what that has come up with a high number, we know that has a significant probability, but in terms of it actually being related or sort of correlated to anything, within the entangled insights, no.
hmm So are we looking for something like 75% and above? Is that sort of a,
Yeah.
a good number to be? Okay. And is there anything else you want to say about Entangled Insights?
I think in all fairness, I think it's great to do the all, and I think it's a great feature. But I think in some ways, because like the way, don't know if I can describe this clearly, but the the manner in which we run the analysis, the more items there are, the more times, we're sort of running through a whole bunch of, different items in pretty much the same time period. So sometimes I feel that if you can be a bit more specific and maybe, let's just say you had to pick up the emotions or the
hmm
Bach flower remedies or whatever it is,
Yeah.
I think, those scans can typically yield, a more sort of relative information versus doing a full scan on the 2,200 items or whatever, or whatever that may be.
Is that the total that's in there, 2,200 items?
I can say categorically, I have absolutely no idea.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit.
It's probably around there.
Okay,
Okay.
no problem. Let's talk a bit about people who might want to get the Genius, and why do you feel like, for the biofeedback practitioner who's thinking, I'd like to really help people, I'd like to harmonize, or even a person who's there sitting thinking, I think I really want to use this for my own personal use or for my family. Why do you think the Genius is a good investment?
Wow, that's a good question, intriguing question. I will say, sort of first off the bat, just from a pure financial side, if we just look at, sort of basic numbers and, you know, I guess, just basic numbers. When it came out first app about, about 5, 6 years ago, the competitor that we were selling was about $15,000.
hmm
Now, I'm certainly not here to, these $1,000 and 20,000, 35,000, quantum biofeedback products. I mean, they are great products. Don't get me wrong, but
Oh, darn, we're losing the sound again. I'm going to sort of try to riff for Ryan just a little bit until we know that he's back. But certainly that was really exciting when Ryan developed the Infinity program to see something that was not 15,000, that was really at a price point that was reasonable, that was accessible for most people. And I think we're seeing something very similar here right now. It has a price point of $1,100 for the initial launch. We certainly appreciate you letting other people know about it. And anybody who's thinking of investing in it now, 1,100 is a great price. There are payment plans available, but basically it makes this all really, really accessible for a large number of people who did not have access to biofeedback programs before. So I just want to make the offer that we do have a new website here. It's called Quantum Health Apps. That's Ryan's website. I'm going to bring it up momentarily. And for you yourself, a lot of you who are Infinity users, you have a special offer. For those of you who are not, there are some specials going where you can acquire the Infinity at the special introductory price. And we do have some really nice bonuses, which is the binaural beat technology. You guys, I'd be happy to take any of your questions, whether you're a user or whether you're interested. So if you have been on the call and you do have a question, I'd be more than happy to take your question now. So feel free to jump in with your questions. I love all of your questions. And let's go ahead to the main screen and just talk a bit more about what is available for people. So let's just take this down. It's good for you guys to know as well, for those of you who are introducing this to other people. There is a referral commission for this. We do have 3 different programs for people. We have the original, which is just the program with nothing else. You just get the software. And you can get the Genius Support apps, which comes with a really, really wonderful, the 3D visual graphics package, the Rife app, the water harmonizer, the relationship harmonizer, and a special bonus we're going to talk about in just a second at $1,400. There's the hardware accessories where you actually get the imprinter for only an extra $100 and the EEG headgear. That's an amazing deal. And then if you want the headgear, the imprinter, and the 3D graphics package, you can get that for $1,800. So these are amazing offers that are available. You get all of the software and all of the hardware combined here. So do let people know about this. Let them know. I'm going to send everybody the link after the webinar. I'm going to send it here as well, and we're going to get to your questions. And we do certainly appreciate your referrals. For those of you who got the program at the introductory price, please understand you're getting a full license and all rights to the updates for just $99. And we appreciate you downloading it and purchasing that and all of that. We really would love it if you would share it on your Facebook page, take a picture of it, put it on Instagram. Let people know that the Genius is out there, that the Genius Insight is available. They can Google Genius Insight. They're going to be able to go to the website. They can go to my website, Awaken Total Health. They can get in touch with me. As you have referred the Infinity, you can refer people to me to talk to them about it. And they can come to this every Tuesday meeting. And once they have the app, they can come to the Monday meeting. So likewise, we're creating a similar community here. We really want to welcome people, and we want to educate them as much as possible. So a couple of quick questions here. At the beginning and after doing the recording, do we need to download or just go to the next? That's from Suzanne. At the beginning, after doing the recording, do we need to download or just go to the next? I don't know what that question is, Suzanne. Maybe you could just help me understand it a little bit better. And if there's anyone else who has a question, I just want to really thank you, Caroline, for being here, and Claire. Thank you so much. We've got plenty of time for your questions. Susan, thank you so much for being here, and Suzanne as well. Debbie, really good to have you. Of course, Pam, it's wonderful to have you. Looks like Ryan has his connection back. Let's see if we can get him back on here. Ryan, is there anything that you want to say about the packages, or anything you want to let people know?
No, you know what? Honestly, I don't know how much of that you heard or you didn't. So, I do apologize for the bad sound quality. It's certainly not the best, but no, you know what? Those packages are great. Certainly invite you to get on board. We're just going from strength to strength. It really is. I mean, what we've got now with the product is great, but some of the new design stuff that we've got coming out, it's just really cool, and it's just great to be part of it. And gosh, welcome aboard. Become a genius. Tap into your own genius. Everyone is a genius within.
Absolutely.
Tap within. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Awesome. Ryan, thank you so much. And there's going to be a lot of really exciting updates coming along as well that Ryan's going to be adding to the program. So much like you saw with the Infinity, where you would get a new version of it, Ryan is really busy coming up with new ideas, listening to your feedback. And so this is going to continue to develop and unfold. It really is going to feel like the next, iteration, the expansion, the evolution of these portable apps. And, I muted Ryan, but I can sort of say here that I really feel like you guys are going to be blown away by some of the additions that are coming down the road. Ryan's an incredible innovator, and he's sort of always thinking about how to make things better, how to make the frequencies more efficient, how to make them more interesting. There's always something dynamic sort of coming, out of out of sort of Ryan's lab of working with bioresonance. So it's going to be super exciting to see how the Genius evolves over time. And really, in a very generous and consistent way, Ryan has always given all of the updates at no charge. Once you have the software, you just get another version, and the program expands. And so I really have to tip my hat to Ryan. I mean, that's really incredible that he's never really charged like a monthly fee or actually charged anybody for the upgrades. The only one was when they did the animations, the 3D, that was quite different. But everything else, all the new additions have always been at no charge. So this will likewise continue with the Genius. Ryan just really likes to really create new apps and new ways of doing things. And on that note, for anyone who invests in the Genius, please let them know that they're going to get a really exciting, cool app. And those of you who got the Genius, you might be able to twist our arms to also be able to get this and share with the other people and let them know about it. It's called the Super Learning app. And I think Ryan has even expanded some of the things in the library recently. But there are wonderful frequencies within the library. Alpha Boost for creativity, super consciousness, razor sharp focus, stimulating creativity, stimulating problem solving, super learning, intelligence booster, calm down, repair and build, regeneration. So you can play all of these, when you want whatever particular one, and put your headphones on and experience those binaural beats for that particular outcome. It's really, really wonderful, and you feel them instantly. I love binaural beat technology. So that's a bonus for anybody who gets the Genius Insight this week. We'll always have some sort of special incentive for people. So please do send your referrals here. Let them know about this. Let them know about it on social media. Please post pictures of the app, screenshots on Facebook, reference the website, send them here, send them to me. We really want to have sort of a big expansion of the Genius. And we really, really appreciate your participation in that as part of the community. We just really appreciate any support that you're able to provide, and really thank you for that. Let's see if you have some other questions here. And is it easy to change or alter items from the libraries that have been added to a client? I think we better save that maybe for the Monday support, Claire. But very, very good question. And we'll get to talking more about the libraries. They're pretty easy to work with, and they're a lot easier to work with, I think, to import and so forth than they were previously. So that's also really exciting. So again, any of your questions, if anybody has any comments or feedback about the Genius, any of their impressions of the Genius or using the Genius that you would like to share, we certainly would love to hear about them. So, please let me know if you have any feedback or comments. We're going to finish up in the next 6 minutes, so please do let people know about the Genius, let them know about the Super Learning app. If there's anything that we can do on our side to help you with your prospect, we would love to do so. So classes are also on Monday. Gabrielle, thank you so much for being here, and really, really nice to have you. So let me explain that really, really clearly. In fact, let me get that link for everybody in just a minute here. The link for the Monday support call, I'm going to be sending that, and I'm also going to send it via email. I'll follow up with everybody via email here. Let me just get this. There we go. All right, so let me just get that link. All right, we have a Monday support call at 4 o'clock Pacific time. You can come as many Mondays as you want. It's basically to talk about the Genius in more detail. The Tuesday night call is really going to focus on people who want to get the app. So it's not that you can't show up for it, certainly, but it would be really great to send your prospects here. If you're interested in sharing this with other people, and we really do appreciate you sharing it, because we do have a commission to pay you to thank you, and also just your kind heartedness to share this technology with other people. All right, so but on Mondays, here we go. Mondays, there's the link. And of course, I'll send it out again. I'll be happy to send it out in an email. So I will be here every Monday for your questions. Annette says will be recorded. Yes, it will always be recorded. And if you're signed up, you'll get it automatically. Very similar to the Quantum Infinity, we want to share this information, we want to create community, and we want you to have a great deal of fun using it. So I'm here to support you. This is why I come be with you every Monday, and let's talk about it. Let's do cases. Let's answer questions. Let's teach you how to use it. There's so many really, really cool things that I myself have just been unpacking recently, and I want to share them with you. So if you have this now, please put it on your schedule to join me every Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. If you can't make it, then certainly check out the recording. We're going to be doing this every Monday, and I'm going to be talking about one particular topic. I'm really going to be highlighting it, and I think you'll just really have fun. This is the kind of program that just draws you in. It's really intriguing, and we're going to be coming up with new exciting innovations, which I think are the cutting edge of bioresonance. And so I love this type of an adventure, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it as well. Okay, I want to know more about the library, please. Gabrielle, what do you want to know specifically about the library and voice healing? Yeah, so 7 p.m. or a.m. Gabrielle, tell me where you are in the world. Are you in the UK? Let me know. I don't remember. We have about 3 minutes left. Let's see if we can just mention, because there's so many things we haven't talked about, and we will talk about both on the Tuesday call and the Monday call, so you can come to it. But again, Tuesday is for people who are interested in acquiring the genius. So in the neuro remedy, what we actually do here is we turn sound into therapy. And this is a bit of radionics if you think about it, because let's see, heal my cells. We could just name this, and then you can sort of just call out what you want. So let's see if we can just record this here. All my cells are completely healing. All of my DNA is functioning perfectly. Every cell in my body is functioning with perfection, is receiving light, is transmitting all of the correct messages for my perfect health. And so it is. And so you can see that I was able to record all of that just like you could. That's why I love this. This is something that is not available in any other biofeedback app currently. You could use your voice, you could use music, you could use a didgeridoo, you could use any of this and create something really fascinating. So we then analyze this particular affirmation that I just created, and then we can actually play that particular frequency. Now it's turned the sound into the frequencies that Ryan has talked about. So it's the alternating energy of all the different frequencies, and it's also got the binaural beat technology. And this is, like I said, sort of a radionics effect. You're sort of declaring and sort of speaking what it is that you want. This opens up, this could be an entire program standalone within itself, and it opens up a myriad of possibilities, which we have not even scratched the surface of yet, which is really, really exciting. Okay. Oh, thanks for joining us from Australia. It's probably early in the morning on, today's Tuesday, so it's actually probably Wednesday morning. I'm thinking 10 o'clock? No, 11 or noon. Maybe there, Gabrielle. Am I right? Am I in the right? I think I finally got the translation of Australia time a little bit. So it must be, I think, 10 o'clock maybe. Is that right? Am I close? All right. Well, you'll let me know. Anyway, so it's just the top of the hour, you guys, and I want to thank you for all being here. Go use your genius. If you haven't gotten it, get it. And if you're here and you don't have the genius yet, please go ahead and contact me at ariel@awakentotalhealth.com. And also, here's my phone number. You could call me even right after this call if you want to, or if you're listening to the recording, call me anyway. And we'll be back next week at the same time. Also, join us for the Monday support calls. I just really appreciate all of you being here. And I send you much love and positive energy for your day and for your week, everyone. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everyone, and be well. Bye-bye for now.